Wake up.
Everything is connected. The one truth science is finally proving. What if I told you that the most radical spiritual teaching of the ancient mystics, that everything is connected, that you are not separate from the universe, that consciousness is the fabric of reality itself, is no longer just a matter of faith? What if I told you that science, the very institution that has for centuries dismissed mysticism as superstition, is finally catching up to what Thoth, the Gnostics, the Hermeticists, and the Eastern sages have been saying for thousands of years? What if the one truth behind all religions, the secret whispered in mystery schools and encoded in sacred texts, is now being demonstrated in laboratories using quantum computers, EEG machines, and advanced statistical models? What if the walls between science and spirituality are not just crumbling, they were never really there? The Hermetic tradition, flowing directly from Thoth himself, calls this the principle of mentalism. The Emerald Tablets open with a statement so radical that even today it challenges our deepest assumptions about reality. The all is mind, the universe is mental. Not God is mind, or there is a mind behind the universe. All is mind. The universe itself, every rock, every star, every body, every thought, every breath you take is mental in nature. Consciousness is not a byproduct of matter. Matter is a byproduct of consciousness. The Gnostics called this the pleroma, the fullness, the interconnected web of divine light from which all things emanate and to which all things return. The Hindus called it Brahman, the single undivided reality underlying all existence, the ocean from which every wave rises and into which every wave dissolves.
The Buddhists called it dependent origination. Nothing exists independently. All things arise in relation to all other things, in a web of causation that has no beginning and no end. Every genuine spiritual tradition, across every continent and every millennium, has pointed to the same truth. Separation is an illusion. Connection is reality. For centuries, Western science dismissed this as mysticism, as superstition, as wishful thinking from people who didn't know any better. The Cartesian worldview, matter separated from mind, observer separated from observed, subject separated from object, dominated scientific thinking. But that worldview is crumbling. It is collapsing under the weight of its own contradictions. Quantum physics has shown that particles can be entangled across vast distances, instantaneously affecting each other in ways that defy classical physics, in ways that Einstein himself called spooky action at a distance. Neuroscience is discovering that consciousness may not be confined to the brain, that the mind may extend beyond the skull, that the boundaries of the self may be far more permeable than we ever imagined. And new research, published in peer-reviewed journals, is demonstrating that quantum entanglement can influence human learning, perception, and cognition. The walls are falling. The truth is emerging. And it is exactly what the mystics have been saying all along. The ancient blueprint. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth are among the most ancient and mysterious texts in existence. Unlike later writings that were filtered through scribes and translators and theologians who had their own agendas, the tablets are said to have been written by Thoth himself, carved into emerald, encoded with frequencies that activate the consciousness of the reader, designed to survive the destruction of libraries and the burning of knowledge. And the first principle they teach is this: all is mind. The universe is mental. This is not poetry. This is not metaphor. This is a direct statement about the nature of reality. The universe is not a collection of separate objects moving through empty space. It is a thought, a dream, a vibration within the infinite mind of the all. The Kybalion, the Hermetic text that distills Thoth's wisdom for the modern seeker, expands on this principle with breathtaking clarity. The all is mind. The universe is mental. This means that the universe is a mental creation of the all.
the infinite living mind, the source of all things, the consciousness that dreams reality into being. And here is the truth that changes everything. You are not separate from that mind. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop. You are not a visitor in this universe. You are the universe visiting itself. Your consciousness is not a tiny flame flickering in a vast dark cosmos. Your consciousness is the cosmos, and your body is one of the forms it has taken.
If all is mind, then everything is connected. Not metaphorically, not poetically, literally. Your thoughts are not private events happening inside your skull, sealed off from the rest of the universe. They are ripples in the universal mind. Your consciousness is not an isolated island, separate and alone. It is a wave in an infinite ocean. The separation you experience between yourself and others, between yourself and the world, between yourself and God, between yourself and the chair you're sitting on, is not ultimate reality. It is a temporary illusion, a necessary forgetting, a dream within the mind of the One. The mystics knew this. They experienced it directly. And now, science is beginning to measure it. Why hasn't this teaching been widely shared? Why was it buried, suppressed, hidden in mystery schools and secret societies? Because it threatens power. If all is mind, then you don't need a priest to access God. You don't need a pope to tell you what is true. You don't need an institution to mediate your relationship with the divine. You can know directly. You can experience directly. You can be your own authority. The Gnostics knew this. They were persecuted, their texts burned, their teachers killed. The church buried this teaching for centuries. But the truth cannot be buried forever. And now, science is excavating it. The quantum web. Quantum entanglement is one of the most bizarre and well-documented phenomena in all of physics. When two particles become entangled, they are no longer separate. They become one system, one quantum state. Measure the spin of one particle, and you instantly know the spin of the other, even if they are on opposite sides of the galaxy, even if no signal could possibly travel between them in the time it takes for the measurement to occur. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. He couldn't believe it. He spent years trying to prove it was impossible. But experiments have confirmed it over and over again with greater and greater precision. Entanglement is real. It is not a theory. It is not a hypothesis. It is a fact. And it proves that the universe is not a collection of separate objects interacting through local forces. It is a web of connection, a field of relationship, a single undivided whole. The observer effect is another quantum phenomenon that challenges the materialist worldview. At the quantum level, particles exist in multiple states simultaneously, in a superposition of all possibilities, until they are observed. The act of observation collapses the wave function, turning possibility into actuality. This means that consciousness is not a passive spectator of reality, watching from the outside. It is an active participant.
The observer creates the observed. This is not philosophy. This is physics. It has been demonstrated in laboratories around the world, and it has profound implications for how we understand the relationship between mind and matter. In 2025, a groundbreaking study published in the journal Physics of Life Reviews provided empirical evidence that quantum entanglement influences conscious experience. Researchers used IBM quantum supercomputers to entangle qubits and then used those entangled states to configure visual stimuli for human participants. The results were extraordinary. Quantum entanglement explained 13.5% of the variance in learning accuracy. A new statistical metric, The Q coefficient captured up to a 31.6% increase in variance across twin responses. Neuroplasticity markers explained a 26.2% increase in cognitive performance under entangled conditions. In plain English, the quantum entanglement of particles influenced how people learned, how they perceived, how their brains changed. The connection between the quantum world and the human mind is not theoretical, it is measurable. The same research introduced the non-local plasticity theory, which proposes that anomalous cognitive information, including precognition, intuition, telepathy, and gut feelings, operates through mechanisms analogous to quantum non-locality. The theory is grounded in 3 principles. The first is internality. Anomalous signals emerge from meaning systems within experience, not from outside. The second is unconsciousness. Anomalous information processing occurs below the threshold of conscious awareness, in the vast depths of the mind that we rarely access. The third is non-locality. Anomalous information operates beyond linear space-time, beyond the constraints of distance and duration. In other words, your intuition, your gut feelings, your moments of knowing without knowing how, your dreams that come true, your sense that something is about to happen, these may be real connections to information beyond space and time. They are not imagination, they are not coincidence, they are your quantum nature expressing itself. The receiver and the field. What if the brain is not a generator of consciousness, but a receiver? What if consciousness is fundamental, existing everywhere, in everything, as the very fabric of reality, and the brain is simply the organ that tunes into it, the way a radio tunes into electromagnetic waves? This idea, once considered fringe, dismissed by mainstream neuroscience, is gaining traction. The brain's microtubules, its neural networks, even its electromagnetic fields, all of these may be quantum receivers, translating universal consciousness into individual experience. The brain does not produce consciousness, it filters it, it channels it, it translates it into the limited, localized experience of being a separate self. And when the filter is removed, in meditation, in psychedelic states, in moments of awe and love and terror, the illusion of separation dissolves, and you experience what has always been true. You are not separate, you are the field. Quantum biology is an emerging field that studies quantum effects in living systems. Photosynthesis, the process by which plants convert sunlight into energy, involves quantum coherence. Bird migration, the ability of birds to navigate thousands of miles, involves quantum entanglement in their eyes. Enzyme catalysis, the chemical reactions that power life itself, involves quantum tunneling. If life itself is quantum, if the very processes that define living systems rely on quantum effects, then why not consciousness? The evidence is mounting that the brain may be a quantum organ capable of receiving and processing information non-locally. The boundaries between physics and biology, between matter and mind, are dissolving.
The vagus nerve, which we've discussed in previous transmissions, is the longest nerve in the body, connecting the brain to the heart, the lungs, and the digestive system. But it may also be a quantum receiver. The Hermetic tradition identified the vagus nerve as a pathway for prana, for life force, for the connection between the physical and the spiritual. The yogis called it the river of prana. The Taoists called it the dragon current. The Gnostics recognized it as the silver cord that binds the soul to the body. Modern science is discovering that the vagus nerve plays a crucial role in intuition, in gut feelings, in the sense of connection to something larger than oneself. The ancient mystics knew the nerve is the bridge.
The heart generates the strongest electromagnetic field in the body, detectable several feet away. This field changes with your emotions, your thoughts, your state of consciousness. When you feel love, the heart's field becomes coherent, organized, harmonious. When you feel fear, it becomes chaotic, fragmented, contracted. And here is the extraordinary part. Your heart field interacts with the fields of others. When you feel connected to someone, when you feel empathy, when you feel love, your heart fields are literally communicating. This is not metaphor, this is physics. The Heart Math Institute has been measuring these interactions for decades. The mystics knew. It's the web of connection. Science is finally catching up. 7 signs you're connected to everything. Let me share with you the signs that you are already experiencing the connection, that the field is already communicating with you, that your quantum nature is already expressing itself. You may have experienced some of these already. You may be experiencing them now, and if you are, know that you are not imagining things. You are waking up. The first sign is synchronicities. You think of someone and they call. You ask a question and the answer appears in a book that falls off a shelf, in a song that plays on the radio, in a conversation you overhear. The universe seems to be communicating with you directly, constantly, impossibly. These are not coincidences. They are glimpses of the underlying connection, moments when the veil thins and you see the web that is always there. The second sign is intuitive knowing. You know things you shouldn't know. You feel what others are feeling without being told. You sense danger before it arrives, opportunity before it appears, truth before it is spoken. Your intuition is not magic. It is not a gift granted to a lucky few. It is your connection to the field, your quantum nature expressing itself. Everyone has it. Most have learned to ignore it. You are learning to listen. The third sign is the sense of oneness. In moments of meditation, of awe, of deep love, of staring at the stars, of watching a child, you feel the boundaries dissolve. You feel at one with everything. The separation that usually defines your experience falls away, and there is only connection, only unity, only love. This is not imagination. This is the veil thinning. This is your true nature revealing itself. The fourth sign is collective emotions. You feel the collective mood, the anxiety, the hope, the fear, the excitement, even when you're alone, even when you haven't watched the news, even when you have no rational explanation for what you're feeling. You're not being influenced by external information. You're feeling the field. The emotions of the collective ripple through the quantum web, and you, being sensitive, feel them. The fifth sign is physical sensations. You feel others' emotions in your body. You get a stomach ache when someone is lying. Your heart races when someone you love is in danger. Your shoulders tighten when tension fills a room. Your body is a quantum receiver. It picks up what your conscious mind misses. Trust it. Listen to it. It knows. The sixth sign is precognitive dreams. You dream of events before they happen. You wake up knowing something is coming. You see symbols in your sleep that later manifest in your waking life. Your dreams are not random. They are not the meaningless firing of neurons. They are downloads from the field, messages from the quantum realm, communications from your higher self. The seventh sign is the pull toward connection. You feel drawn to certain people, certain places, certain paths. You can't explain why. You have no logical reason, but something is pulling you. That something is the web of connection, the quantum field, the intelligence of the universe guiding you home. Trust it. Follow it. It knows the way.
Opening the gateway. The field is always there. The connection is always present. You don't need to create it. You don't need to earn it. You only need to stop blocking it. The practices are not about adding something new. They are about removing what has been in the way.
The first practice is to meditate on interconnection. Sit in silence, close your eyes, breathe. Feel the air entering your lungs. That air was just breathed by a tree. That tree is connected to the soil. The soil is connected to the earth. The earth is connected to the sun. The sun is connected to the galaxy. The galaxy is connected to the universe. You are not separate. You are the universe breathing itself. Sit with this. Let it sink into your bones. Let it become not a thought, but a feeling. Not a belief, but a knowing. The second practice is to practice heart coherence. Place your hand on your heart. Breathe into it. Breathe slowly, deeply, rhythmically. Feel gratitude. Not for anything in particular, just gratitude. Feel love. Not for anyone in particular, just love. The heart's electromagnetic field can be measured. It can be felt. It can connect you to others. Practice this for 5 minutes a day. It will change your brain. It will change your field. It will open the gateway.
The third practice is to trust synchronicities. When you see a sign, trust it. When you feel a pull, follow it. When the universe speaks, listen. You don't need to understand how it works. You don't need to prove it to anyone. You just need to trust. The more you trust, the more the signs appear. The more you follow, the clearer the path becomes. The fourth practice is to release the illusion of separation. The illusion of separation is the root of suffering. It is the source of fear, of greed, of violence, of loneliness. Release it. Not as a belief, as an experience. Feel your connection to the person next to you. Feel your connection to the tree outside your window. Feel your connection to the star that died to create the atoms in your body. The more you practice, the more real it becomes. The fifth practice is to speak your connection. Words have power. Words have frequency. Speak this out loud. I am not separate. I am connected to everything. The same consciousness that animates the stars animates me. The same awareness that dreams the universe dreams through me. I am one with the field. I am one with all that is. I am not a drop in the ocean. I am the ocean in a drop. Speak it until you feel it. The words are not magic. The frequency behind the words is magic, and you are the one who generates that frequency.
The truth that cannot be denied. The ancient mystics knew it. Thoth taught it. The Gnostics were persecuted for it. The Hermeticists encoded it in symbols. The Hindus called it Brahman. The Buddhists called it dependent origination. The Sufis called it the beloved. And now, science is proving it. Quantum entanglement, the observer effect, non-local plasticity theory, the heart's electromagnetic field, the quantum biology of consciousness. The evidence is mounting. The walls are falling. The truth is emerging. Everything is connected. You are not separate. You are not alone. You are not a tiny, insignificant speck in a vast, indifferent universe. You are a wave in an infinite ocean of consciousness. The separation you feel is the illusion. The connection is the truth. You can continue to live as if you were separate. You can continue to believe that your thoughts are private, that your consciousness is confined to your skull, that you are alone in a vast, indifferent universe. You can continue to fear, to hoard, to attack, to defend, to protect the tiny island of your ego from the imagined threats of the outside world. Or you can wake up. You can feel the connection. You can live from the truth that everything is one. The choice is yours, but the evidence is mounting, and the truth is not going away.
If you feel the connection, if you know in your bones that everything is one, if the evidence has convinced you, if the signs have been appearing in your life, comment one word below. One. Not for me, for you. To declare that you are ready to live from the truth, to declare that you are no longer separate, to declare that you are one with all that is. If this message resonates, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay connected. The truth is resurfacing, and those who are ready are finding each other. Remember, you didn't find this video by accident. The field led you here. Everything is connected. And now you know. Rise, Spark. Rise. Thank you for watching.